So I got to say, I really liked the presentations this morning. I had the opportunity last night to sit with Jeff at dinner for a couple hours, and very interesting very interesting journey that he's been on. And absolutely agree with his statement of if you don't know what you're doing, then you don't know what you're not capable of doing. So just magical things have happened, and I can certainly attest to that. I mean, yesterday I talked a little bit about the early days of QuickTime and Apple and my tenure there, and I mean, we knew nothing about video. We knew a lot about 32-bit graphics, but we knew nothing about video. And at Lifesize, when I came to Lifesize, I mean, I was an outsider. I knew nothing about even though there was a team at Apple that worked on a communication product. I wasn't part of that, and I knew nothing about the video collaboration space. So great things happen when you don't know much about what you're doing and you don't know what's possible, and that's certainly been true for me. The other thing I took from his talk was I liked how he finished, which was sunny skies, and I thought about changing my presentation and just having one slide. I'm outside in the sunshine. Now I'm underneath some really rainy clouds, and then we're going to have a huge feast at the end because maybe that's the way this story's going to work out. I was pessimistic yesterday. I kind of set up the tone for that the industry is sick, and it's even if you're a small growing company in this space, it's still the same space. So we want to have a vibrant growing business that we can all participate in. Tom Eric mentioned the same thing. So today I want to talk about three things. I want to pick it up where I left off yesterday. This is really the tale of two stories. So I want to talk about burning platforms again, just to kind of set up the stage. I want to talk about simplification because it's we all talk about simplify. It's a lot easier said than done. So I want to talk a little bit about that, and then I want to finish it up on our perspective on the cloud, being a manufacturer. So again, third year to beat the drum. I talked about lots of other companies over the past 3 years, but in reality, what I was really talking about was the video conferencing, enterprise video conferencing space and this backdrop of exploding video use. I showed some slides on the industry, which are ugly. We want, they're going back to flat, but I mean, flat is not good either. Single-digit growth is not good. It's in this, we need to capitalize on this enormous opportunity that's in front of us, and the last 7 quarters have not been that. So it's been really ugly. And I'll tell you, if you think that the ASPs of endpoints, and I am a huge believer in room-based endpoints. I mean, that is going to continue and continue to be a great business. But if you think the ASPs are going to flatten out or they're going to go back up the other direction, I'm here to tell you it's not going to happen. I mean, we for one are not going to let it happen. I mean, we've always driven price performance, and we're going to more aggressively do it. So we are going to test to see if there's elasticity in the market, and if there's not, then these graphs are going to get a lot worse. I believe the value that we have, the technology is fantastic. Not that many people today, still in 2013, have seen it. There's a lot of promise, but don't think that this can't continue to go down, because it can. And infrastructure is just being destroyed. I mean, so it's the changes in infrastructure are it's great for consumers, it's great for technologists, it's great for new things we can do, but that business is changing. It's already transformed. So what kind of conclusions can you draw from this? One is hardware endpoints are dead. That's where we make most of our money is through endpoints. A range of ones that are very cost effective and to ones that are still cost quite a bit of money, but not relative to what they used to be. So we believe that that's flat out nonsense. I mean, people still go to meeting rooms. They still go face to face. They still need to have high quality, great quality collaboration tools. So I don't believe that that's the case at all. It'll be dwarfed by mobile clients, software clients for sure, but I will be shocked if hardware endpoints, room-based endpoints, ones that have even better collaboration capabilities than they have today, if that does not grow. Second one, they're too frickin' hard to use, absolutely. As technologists, we all sit in the room and we talk about various standards, and they're all very important. Our customers expect us to deliver on all of these and create new ones that are, just are magical experiences for them. But with growth and with more penetration and more mass adoption, I mean, they really don't care how it all works. They just want it to work, and it doesn't. It's still too hard. It's still too hard to connect. It's still too hard to use. I mean, things we take for granted. I mean, one of the best things about when we got bought by Logitech, I mean, we thought our systems were pretty easy to use, and that was signified by the remote control over on the left. I mean, if you compared the original Lifesize remote to, some of the competitors out there, it was really quite easy to use our system. That's what we thought. So then we got bought by a company that had 3,000 people, and they deployed hundreds of video conferencing systems, and then we got I forget what Jeff called them, but it's an outside observer or something like that. We got unfiltered feedback on how hard it was to make a call, how hard it was to add a call, how hard it was to start a presentation either locally or to a far side. I mean, how hard it was for normal people to use this. So we went down a path for the last few years to even get more simple, and that was with our touchscreen phone, and then more recently with our new Icon system that has a remote that looks remarkably like a Apple TV remote. So I can't tell you the number of internal discussions we had about, oh my God, you don't have a keypad on your remote control, and we don't. And I'll tell you what, I mean, if it is my on my deathbed, I mean, I am not going to make IP calls anymore with video conferencing systems. It's out of 50 billion Internet of Things, I mean, the only thing that I can think of that I know the IP address is of my video conferencing system, and it's just not. It's just wrong. It's just it's not going to happen. So no keypads on dial keypads on remotes for us anymore. Last one's infrastructure. People don't care about infrastructure. I mean, they just want to call people. They want to go to meetings. They want to share data, share work. You'll never, I just said never, but you'll never hear me say never or always. I mean, I just don't like to be at such absolute ranges. But, so I'm not going to say that there will never be another purpose-built appliance that does bridging or transcoding, because there might be, or it might be an accelerator card plugged into an x86 server. But so I'm not going to say that, but they are going to be dramatically outnumbered by both soft MCUs and transcoderless types of infrastructure. I mean, by a huge, huge number, and that's already happened. That's already happened at Lifesize. We still have a great purpose-built bridge, but we far, far outsell it with our soft MCU and our other infrastructure products. Addressing simplicity. First journey for our company. Our company was built based on H.264 baseline, high-definition endpoints. The second journey that we've been on for quite a while has been around simplicity, around easier to use for the devices, easier to use for the deployment of virtualized infrastructure, simple, stable, accessible, inclusive to everybody, inclusive to all devices. Did I say stable? I mean, we want stable connections. People walk into a meeting room or in a conference like this, it should be trivial to call up somebody. We shouldn't have to go through and wonder if it's going to work. That's not how we work at Lifesize. I mean, I'm sure that's not how the guys at Polycom work in their offices. But when you get out of that environment, the expectation is, the meeting takes a while to get started. So I really believe that the simplicity of getting this technology into people's hands in a way that's approachable by them is the real secret. So our perspective on the cloud, there's a guy named Michael Lopi. He goes by a pseudonym of Rands. He writes a blog called Rands in Repose. I don't know if anybody follows him or reads him, but when I was putting this presentation together, he had a tweet that talks about you never stop learning. And that really is our perspective on the cloud at Lifesize. This is a very simple diagram that I presented at our board meeting, about 4 years ago, talking about how people would be fooled. There's another slide with this, but expect for commoditization in the endpoint. Expect that there's a part that's coming out from Texas Instruments that is so great that every competitor in this space would be foolish not to use it. So expect that everybody's going to have a DM8168 inside their boxes, and that's true. That's what has happened. But we can differentiate on software, and we can also differentiate around going from this concept of pieces of things that we built, endpoints, gatekeepers, MCUs, ISDN networkers, to virtualized on-premise software infrastructure, as well as someday going into the hosted side. And we don't really care where our customers go. We'll manage that transition, but the path is clear on going from dedicated to virtualized to cloud-based solutions. So this was the path that we set forward about 4 years ago. This is not a pitch for Lifesize. I'm just trying to create some vocabulary here. But if you look at our virtualized infrastructure, it all starts with this. This is called ClearC server. And to understand the way that we think about infrastructure, you have to understand what this is. Most people think that it's a way to connect mobile phones, tablets, and desktops into interoperable type of call scenarios. But it's much, much, much richer than that. It's a very, very sophisticated call routing engine that allows us to connect endpoints, or ICON in a special way, a very, very connected format, as well as third parties into the conversation. If you need to have transcoded bridge resources, and also RTC. We'll talk about RTC in a second, but this is also the magical piece of our infrastructure that connects this. If you need to transcode and you need bridge ports, just add in some UVC-MP and this stuff. I can spin one up. I can spin one of these up, an entire solution of all these applications in a matter of a few minutes from anywhere in the world. So if you want one UVC multi-point platform, you want 10, you want 50 connected to this, we don't care. You just add, get geographic affinity, all that. If you want to record and stream, add in a couple video centers and into this mix too. These are all pieces that are available today. And when they're connected like this, then they do some pretty amazing things. Everybody can draw a picture like this. Our differentiation is in ICON, our newest endpoint that connects into this. Just like a connected smartphone, just like a connected Fitbit or Jawbone or a connected Tesla. A Tesla is that's a high-end connected device, but being integrated and connected is key to what we believe is being useful for our customers. Yeah, so how's it going? Remember the diagram I had of showing the industry just kind of in a decline or at best flat. Our UVC introduction since launch looks like this. Quite contrary to the diagram I showed you before, where we're doubling in usage of UVC every 6 months. So these are the kind of things that we're used to seeing and things that we like to see. Is adoption and how this resonates with our customers. And I can tell you, this resonates. It may surprise you, but Lifesize has 3 cloud services that we've already launched, or we've already put up. One is called Lifesize Connections. And remember, our perspective on the cloud is learning. The first one, Lifesize Connections, launched in late 2011. Globally launched, that was a mistake. Channel friendly, it was a mistake. Not because we don't like our channel, but they're just not used to selling this type of service. They're used to selling. When we came out with Express, Lifesize Express at $5,000, our channel almost had a revolt. They did not want to sell a $5,000 endpoint. They wanted to sell a $10,000 endpoint or a $1 million telepresence installation. So when you come out with a service like this, they just weren't capable at the time of digesting it. $0 incremental marketing, big mistake. $30 a month for a desktop, $100 a month for a endpoint, big mistake, too expensive. No interop, no mobile, big mistake. But despite that, I mean, we have thousands of users even today that still pay every month, love the service, want more. So despite all of these mistakes, there's still demand for this, a lot of demand for it. Go to the right side, completely different story. We have a Lifesize ClearC server up in the cloud. It was launched in May 2011. Free. There's a standard version that's less expensive than the professional HD version. The free version has a cap on minutes. We try our best to hide this, but yet people find it. I mean, we don't want to have people on this, but yet they continue to find this today. Tens of thousands of free users. Self-service, we take credit cards. The big problem here is billing, analytics. It's not the technology. I mean, it's all the other things you have to build to get here. So totally on the left, channel-based, vouchers, going through that way. Which I'll tell you also is most people want to, our customers, most of them want to go through trusted partners. The other side on the right, we'll take credit cards, self-service, and then you see typical conversion ratios, which are single-digit type of convert from free to paid on that side. The third one is pretty exciting. We stood this up. We haven't talked about this at all, although it just went up on our main website, I think, a couple days ago. But it was launched around the world. We have servers and points of presence all over the world. It's an experiment for us. There's no charge for it. It's our version of WebRTC. We just wanted to kind of demyth how hard the WebRTC and the interop problem is, because as an enterprise video conferencing company, interop is paramount. We have to be able to talk to as many people as allow us to talk to it. So I'm not doing a demo of it because you can demo it yourself. Go to lifesize.com/WebRTC, hit one button. We'll ask you for your email address, but that's the only time we ask you, and we're not farming any of those leads, so don't worry about getting spam mail, or if we ever do, just throw it in your junk filter. We don't care. But if you go to lifesize.com, WebRTC, enter in your email address, then you'll see this. And this is just Chrome. You got to use a Chrome browser or Firefox. Give us access to the microphone and camera. Hit allow. We don't control any of this UI. I mean, this is just happens from Chrome. And when that happens, assuming you're going to use a great webcam from another company that I know that makes great webcams, much better than the ones that are embedded in your laptops. And you'll see local view. And if you want to call me, in the box, just type cking@lifesize.com, and do this next week. I'll be back in Austin. I'll answer on my endpoint. We'll add in a couple other endpoints, automatically escalate to multi-party calls. Or you can call Leah. So this one I actually did put in an IP address. So if you have a Tamberg, Polycom, whatever type of system that you want, go ahead, try it out. Connect to an RMX bridge. Type it in. Say, create the call. Now the great thing about it is the quality to the person, and of course we could easily send out an invite through an email and single click and you launch into this. That's trivial to do. But we just wanted to show that you could actually interoperate with enterprise standards-based video communication. The quality to them, they are and this is the easiest way that I've ever found to get into a call with us. I can call my wife up, a friend up, say go to this website, do this, type in my email address, cking@lifesize.com, and then they connect like this. They see me in HD glory, just fantastic quality. I see them, a little bit less. It's not bad, but it's certainly not what we're accustomed to seeing, which is perfect. The experience for them is fantastic. A more interesting call, you can call into a bridge, or you can escalate into any type of meeting, have embedded, have presentations, multi-party, have tablets, desktops, mobile phones, endpoints, other WebRTC clients, inside this call. So I highly encourage you guys to go see this because it's definitely pretty interesting. So how's it work? Well, you guys know how WebRTC works. I mean, there's a browser component, and then an application. The application is going to take care of signaling. Once all the capabilities exchanges happen, then the browser portion goes point to point. So we have as many WebRTC clients as you want over on the left, connected into something that we download from our infrastructure. And then, what do you care how it works in the middle? I mean, it just works. So the same picture of what the UVC infrastructure was is the same picture of what's inside this diagram here. And then on the other side of it, bridge to the world that you're used to using. So again, give it a try. Lifesize.com/WebRTC. You can try it here today, or you can, or if you want to call me. I want to break this. I want to go back to Austin, and I want everybody here at the IMTC to call me or call somebody else that you know. And then I want to go back to our marketing department and go, my God, when you put the link up on our main web page, just unbelievable things happen, and we broke this, we broke this particular installation. So I really encourage you guys to go off and play with it. And I want to go back and look at the analytics and see, I want to see that we've hit capacity. So in summary, the world has changed and it's not going back. So it's that's just a fact. And change is good, and you get and we're going to go from the sunshine to the dark clouds to the feast at the end. I'm very, very optimistic. The dedicated to virtualized to cloud, kind of journey is unstoppable. So why fight it? Because it adds so much value for our customers and to us. Mobile and desktop will dominate client usage. But again, I'll take bets. I will take the side that a year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now, our room systems will grow and be dragged along by the soft clients. I was talking to Alex yesterday at lunch, and I told him, our connection service. I mean, one of the things that we've learned from that is our expectation on fan out was 10 to 1. It'll be interesting to hear Algu from Blue Jeans and see what they see, because I would expect it's more heavily on the client side. But we expected a fan out of 10 to 1, going to 100 to 1, going to 1,000 to 1 or something like that. But people still want to use room-based systems. And the fan out on our connection service is 4 to 1. For every 4 soft clients, there's an endpoint that's attached to the service, which is very good for our business. And that means people still want to go to meeting rooms. They still want to congregate. They still want to share and do work there. Which brings me to the last point. We will continue to congregate there, both in the physical space and in the virtual space. And I really do believe that the feast is right around the corner, and that we'll all be in great shape. So with that, thanks a lot for having me at the IMTC meeting. I'm off to Milan right after lunch. So I've really enjoyed the stay here. It's been very, very informative for me. So thank you.